Hey, friends, happy Wednesday. Today I wanted to talk to you guys about the fastest way to break an unsustainable sleep association. So, when I talk about this, I'm actually talking about an older baby, and usually I would say like toddler age, and usually one that is like having to be driven around for their sleep, or there's just something unsustainable going on that just can't go on anymore. Say maybe you have to hold them the whole time that they're sleeping, or like I said, you have to drive them around for their whole nap. Just things like that where it's unsustainable, you can't do it anymore. So that's what I'll be talking about today. And although I am referring to a toddler age, you can also apply this to younger babies. It's just a little bit different. But yeah, anyways, let me just get into this. So, the older the baby, the harder it will be to break the habit because they're so ingrained in this habit and this way of falling asleep. So, it will be a little bit harder to do, but it is still possible. So, as long as you stay consistent and you do what you need to do, this will work. But it will be a little bit harder with an older baby than with a younger baby. So what you need to do is you need to retrain the sleep association, which is harder to do with an older baby, obviously. And there will be crying. There will be protesting. The baby, the older they get, the more they protest, the more they're not okay with things being changed for them. So just be aware of that. And so when you are applying these, you want to make sure that you are not using the current sleep association anymore. You don't want to be using the current sleep association anymore. So if you're driving your child around for their sleep, you don't want to be doing that anymore. You have to stop doing that altogether. If you're holding them to sleep, stop doing that altogether. There's also associations like feeding them to sleep, rocking them to sleep, things like that, where the baby is completely dependent on you to get them to sleep. You have to stop doing that in order to get them to start associating their sleep with going to sleep with something else and not that thing that they've been using this whole time. So we need to establish a new sleep association. Um, they need to learn active settling. So in order to do that, that means that a lot of the time with older babies, or with any baby, it's easiest to help them along with this process. So that the best way to do that, with an older baby in this case, you can do it with a younger baby too, but the methods would be a little bit different. But anyways, for this particular one, you could do methods such as like the chair and room method, where you sit in the room with them until they're settled and they fall asleep. You could cuddle them. But the thing about that is, if you're cuddling them, you just do it to soothe them, and then you want to be putting them in their crib awake, obviously ready for sleep, but awake. You don't want to be having them fall asleep on you when you're cuddling them. Or you can use like the shush pat method, where you shh and you pat their bum while they're in their crib. Or you could even lay down with them just to get them ready for sleep, tired. For the first little bit, you could let them fall asleep that way, but eventually you want to break that association as well. What we're trying to do here, the main point of this, is to get them out of the sleep association they were used to, such as being in the car, and into their room, in their own bed, in their own crib, in their own room, instead of on you in a car, rocking to sleep, etc. You want them to be used to falling asleep on their own in their own space. That is the whole point to all this. So if you need to give them a little bit more than you normally would, such as you lay with them, you cuddle them, you do the chair and room method, you do this shush pat method, as long as they're in their room, then that is what is most important. And you do want to make sure that if they are falling asleep on you, eventually you're breaking away from that and you're slowly having them fall asleep on their own and not on you or beside you or whatever. So get them used to sleeping in their own room. It's super, super important, especially if they're falling asleep on you or in a car. So you want to slowly remove yourself from the equation. You can to a point where eventually all you have to do is say a sleep phrase like sleepy time now, you lay them down and you leave. um, Eventually that's the point you want to get to. It will be a slow process. It will probably take a couple weeks to get to that, but it is possible. But what you have to do is just stay consistent in what you're doing. Make sure that you are you know, breaking away from the sleep associations. Like I said, if they're falling asleep, if you're cuddling them, if you're laying with them and they fall asleep, that's okay for the first little bit, but you want to over a couple days time break away from that and have them fall asleep on their own, in their own bed, in their own crib, in their own room. Um, so yeah, make sure that they're ready for sleep when you do this, and it should go a lot smoother if you do that. Um, if you have if you're doing this with a toddler and they're actually, let's say they're like 19 months old and they're still taking two naps, we want to get that down to one nap. The reason that they may be taking two naps still is because they may be not getting, because you're driving them around a car, you're holding them or something, so they're not getting that deep restorative sleep that they should be getting. They're getting not great quality sleep, so they're needing two instead of one. So what you want to do is you want to break that down to one nap, and what that nap should be from 12:30 to 2:30, and then there should be a bedtime at 7, and they should also be waking up at 7. So it'll be 7, wake up at 7, nap time at 12:30 until 2:30, bedtime at 7. That is what it should be for a toddler, from I would say 12 to, well, uh, 2 years old. Well, and then after that it gets shorter and shorter. But anyways, that's beyond the point. That's just the point. I'm trying to make is that you want to get it down to one nap, and that is why, because you don't want them to be overtired and you don't want them to be undertired when bedtime comes around or when nap time comes around either. So anyways, that's what I have for you guys today. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did and you'd like more content like this, you can join my group in the description. It's either up there or down there, or who knows where it is, but it's somewhere depending on what thing you're using to watch this, phone, computer, whatever. So anyways, I hope that you guys enjoyed it. I hope you join my group where there's more talk of sleep training. I even sometimes throw in some perinatal mental health talk and some informed choice when it comes to vaccines, just giving you both sides of the story, which we don't really get nowadays. So if you like any of those topics, come join my group. I'd love to have you, and I hope you guys have a great day and a great rest of your week. Bye.